Welcome to the 52 Love Podcast, your show for 52 lessons in 52 weeks. Before we dive in, remember you can find the audio version of this episode, along with the rest of the series, on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, and Radio Public. And now, here's your host, Ms. Tonya Todd.
Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of the 52 Love Podcast. 52 Love began as a blog series last year, 52 Love Lessons in 52 Weeks. And this year, the 52 Love Podcast explores each one of those tips with a new guest each week. My guests this week are Johnie and Devon, and the tip that they have tried is to create a photo shoot for your partner. Would you like to introduce yourselves and tell us what you do in the community?
Sure. Hi, I'm Devon Burke. I'm an actor and a director. I've done a lot of work with Tonya and Johnie at Bard at the Bar. I don't even know how many productions we've done together at this point. Yeah, I'm a huge Shakespeare and theater nerd, and I'm also a singer. I do opera, I do musical theater. Obviously, with the pandemic, the actual projects have been a little bit few and far between, but things are starting to pick up again. So we're actually working on a show together right now, which is really exciting because we haven't acted together in a very long time.
Johnie?
I'm Johnie. I am an actor and filmmaker throughout Vegas. I've also done many a show with these two, which is a lot of fun. I don't sing. I pretend to, but I definitely don't. But I do a lot of acting and performing throughout town.
So what show are you guys doing?
We're doing Much Ado About Nothing with Las Vegas Little Theater, directed by Lep.
Mm-hmm.
Very
David
cool.
Morey is all of his social media, but everyone else just calls him Lep.
What roles are you two playing?
I'm actually Dogberry, which is I've been doing a lot more character work lately, and I'm really excited because Dogberry is just such a ridiculous.
Yeah, I can see you doing so well at that.
She's so funny with it. And I am Don John, which is a fun new role for me because I've done this show before as Benedict, but Don John is a really, really fun flip side of that. So
that's really cool. And then I just want to say that Devon, you are a director and you are one of the most organized directors I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And you're also my favorite Devon, and I know quite a few.
That's interesting because I think I know maybe one other Devon that's a girl, and she spells her name the same way. We went to undergrad together and are on completely different sides of the planet now. I don't meet a ton of other Devons.
You're the only one who spells it this way, but you are my favorite.
Oh, okay. Aw. Yeah, I try to be as organized as possible. I know when I'm on set or in rehearsal, I hate having my time not respected, and so I just try and give that to
That's
my
it right
actors
there. You respect our time. Like, we know why we're there, what we're working on that day, and there's no excuse not to be prepared for the scenes that we are going to be working that day. And for that, I appreciate you so much. Because, I like to be off book at rehearsal. Can't do that if you don't know what you're working on.
Audition room.
Yeah, you're basically off book as soon as you get cast.
You're like, would you like this role? Yes, I'm done. I'm prepared. Let's go.
Oh, you mean this? No. So this week's tip was to create a photo shoot for your partner. Why don't you guys tell us how that went?
Yeah, one of the things I think a lot of people have been dealing with the pandemic is, we can't have our normal exercise routines and things like that. And we've both made a lot of really positive lifestyle changes during the pandemic, and we've been really lucky, but my weight has been up and down, and I have not felt great about myself. So this was actually kind of the perfect assignment for us right now, because I've always had a love-hate relationship with my body, but right now it's just been so fluctuating that it was nice to have a creative low pressure situation to kind of reevaluate and get in touch with feeling comfortable in my own skin. And he was super sweet and patient, even though the first half of the photo shoot I was just I hate all of these, why do I look like this? But then we hit a groove, and we ended up with way more pictures that we liked than I think we expected to.
We came up with 30 or 40 and final shots that we ended up keeping. But
That's so cool.
So many times when you go into a photo shoot type thing, you get kind of steamrolled by your photographer. So it was fun to like show up and say, this is about you. You help make the choices, bring up some ideas, and then it was a really fun process to like kind of get rid of that stress level of one person deciding what you're going to look like. You get a chance to like have a voice in how you see yourself and how you get to capture that moment, and it was really fun.
Yeah,
I love when they read the assignments.
Well, I one of the things that was really nice is as a performer, half the time that you get your pictures taken, it's for like a specific purpose. Like you're either on a job or it's your headshots, and so there's like this level of these have to look a certain way. And so it was nice just to kind of get to mess around. And honestly, we had no idea where we were going to shoot or what the concept was until about an hour before we shot. And then I was just like, we were trying to think of concepts and places, and I went with blue hair during the pandemic, and it's like now become my staple, and I love it. And I was like, I need something that kind of like feels like it fits with my new look and lets me kind of experiment with that. And so yeah, I came up with the idea of like this cross between like almost a pinup shoot and like Lydia Dietz, and it was so much fun. And Beetlejuice is one of my favorite movies. And
which movie?
I love Beetlejuice.
Say it again.
Beetlejuice.
I got you to say it 3 times.
And that's perfectly fine because he's the ghost with the most. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I think the photos look awesome. You look amazing in them. There's just one shot where your legs look killer, man.
I know.
I was like, damn, I think of you as petite, especially since, you have your own tagline. Though she be but little, she is mighty. You cannot tell that in those shots. It's like she's just legs for days in those, and those shoes are definitely working for you.
It was interesting to look through them because I've always had very muscular, like solid legs, and looking through those, even he was like, your legs look super like long and thin, and I was like, wait, is that even me?
Well, they do look muscular, but it's a nice look. And the thing you were saying that there is low pressure with this, and you were mentioning all the pictures that we take for either headshots, which are to show a certain look, or as a character. If you're showing up as a character, that's not even really you. But this is just, you're kind of exposed and vulnerable because I'm taking a shot of you. There is no purpose behind this. But that did give you the freedom, too, to just play with it. And it looks like you really enjoyed it. We
did. And it was... we had the brilliant idea too, because we were like, oh, we could go, out to the park, but it's probably going to be crowded and COVID and all of that. And had the epiphany that our apartment's pool complex is open and probably deserted because it was like 45 degrees.
And it was. We had it for like an hour and a half, and no one, like 2 people walked by, and they just kind of looked and like kept going. It was great. It was fantastic.
That's cool. So, Johnie, how is this for you?
Honestly, it was really fun because we've done a lot of things together where she's gotten a chance to direct me, and this didn't feel as much as like directing her as it was more of like taking her ideas and running with it. Because as a videographer myself, like I have a decent idea of how to make people look pretty. I don't fancy myself as a photographer at all, so the more she got into it and the more comfortable she was, the more I was able to just kind of be creative. And I think some of those shots were some of the best that I've ever taken, which was a lot of fun for me too. So she's super excited because she looks good, and I'm like, these are really good shots. And I don't know, it was just a lot of fun all around. It was relaxing too. It was like low stress, and we just got to kind of like do something together that didn't require any real energy in terms of like mental stress. It was fun. It was just a nice little reset. It was nice.
Ordinarily, how do the two of you feel under the lens of a camera?
I think for me, it really depends on, who's behind the camera, and it depends on what the pictures are for. Or if it's film. Like I said, I'm always self-conscious of how I look on film. And recently I've taking my like pictures of myself. Like my most recent series of headshots are all pictures I took of myself.
And they're really good. They're really good.
And I, I felt better about them than I have about any of the headshots I've had in the past. And so I was a little bit nervous for him to take some pictures of me because I finally like feel like I know what I look like on camera and how to make myself look good. So I'm like, do I trust anyone else? So it took me a little while to like.
It is an exercise in trust. It really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a weird love-hate relationship with being on camera. Like I was saying before we started rolling, like seeing myself, I don't recognize myself still. Like I'm still trying to get used to looking the way that I do now. So I'm starting to enjoy watching myself on camera more, so I can start to feel a little bit more free and give the same kind of performances that I give on stage or in a bar as I do on camera now. So I'm getting more comfortable with it, but I'm normally super just like inside myself. Do I look okay? Are my lines like my body looking good? Am I performing right? And so there's all those things running in your head, and that's what was constantly in my head when we were doing our shoot. Is she doesn't need to think about anything. Like you don't need to think about anything at all, but just having fun. Because like that's just, you can get so bogged down in the minute details of every little aspect of how you look when you're trying to do a certain thing on camera that you get lost in just having fun in the moment. So I think that was the big thing for us, was just enjoy the whole process, whether we liked the pictures or not. And it turns we got some great ones that we really loved. So.
And in general, before this shoot, what are some of your favorite photos of each other?
I've just really been enjoying, like, he's been taking quite a few selfies lately because he's just been really feeling himself since this like last stage of his weight loss journey, and it's been super cute because aside from the fact that, like, yeah, of course he looks really hot in them, like he's feeling himself, and you can feel that in the pictures, and so I really enjoy that. And
You're talking about how hot he is. His cheeks are getting redder by the moment.
It's weird. It's so weird. I appreciate it. I love the compliments. It's just I'm not used to hearing that. It's such a strange.
Well, if someone's going to say it, it should be her, right?
Exactly.
And yeah, it's just like that energy comes through now, and I love all the pictures of him when he's performing because he's just not self-conscious when he's on stage. If he's like not paying attention and he's out of his head.
I just get into it. It's weird. My favorite picture of you right now is probably the ones you took during your Mercutio set. Like the last little bit you took of yourself. Those were really, really cool. Those were a lot of fun because it's pure, just like Devon's energy. There's no character there. There's no like, I want to look pretty for the camera. It's just, I'm here and I look amazing and I'm going to share this with you. And it's just, it's great.
It's amazing what blue hair can do for you.
Right. I was thinking about that on the way into the studio. I have a lot of writing coming up and I'm not doing, like I'm taking a break from acting for about a month to get a lot of writing done. I could go blue, for a month.
That'd be amazing.
It would be a pain to get it all the way out, but because, I have to look like my headshots. I can't just go blue whenever I want, but I know.
Which is why my new headshots, I have blue hair.
Yes.
Honestly, like, not a paid endorsement, but overtone has been like the best thing ever. Because I touch it up before I get in the shower, and it doesn't take a ton of effort to get out. Like, if you just don't touch it up, in a couple of weeks it's gone, but they do have like a fader shampoo that helps take it out.
Really cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I may be in contact with you. So tell us about your upcoming projects. I mean, you talked about the one play. What else do you guys have going on? What are you hoping to do? What are your creative goals this year?
Oh, wow. I've been taking it one day at a time this year. I don't have a whole lot planned in concrete. I'm going to try and do a lot more stuff for myself and hopefully put out content back on my social media. I took a couple of months off to really work on getting back to a healthy place creatively again. So I'm hoping to start making more things for me. And I think that for me is I've really been getting into animation lately. And so I think I'm going to dive into that a little bit. Yeah, nothing too fancy, like mostly like graphics and like infographic sort of things, because I do a lot of training videos for my day job. I've really gotten into designing different aspects and like icons and such for that. It's really minimal, but it's a lot of fun. It brings me a lot of joy. So I'm going to start releasing some small like tutorial type things throughout the year, I think.
That's the key, that joy.
Yeah, I want to do something for me, something creative and fun for me.
It's super cute because he comes home from work when days are slow, and he'll have built something out in like After Effects, and he's like, "Look at this thing I made!"
like a child. I'm like, "Look, it's so amazing! I know it's just a pencil, but it spins."
We put it on the refrigerator.
Yeah. Right.
Let's see I was recently in the Shakespeare in Love show over at Las Vegas Little Theater, which was my first show with them, and then Octavia Caesar in their Julius Caesar production, and now we're doing Much Ado. And it's been kind of weird to be doing so much acting again, because for a while I was really just directing. And I've been taking classes with Soho Shakespeare Company online during the pandemic, which has just been such a godsend. They're fabulous teachers and super welcoming. And they've really helped me get like the joy back in acting, because I really felt like I had lost that in, the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. And but other than that, I'm finishing up a certificate program at the University of Colorado Boulder in Applied Shakespeare. So we have an intensive during the summer, and it was supposed to end last year, but COVID. So now we have our intensive this summer. And so I'll be in Colorado to finish that, and then I'll have my certificate. And I am most likely going to be in grad school in September in the UK.
Oh, that's so exciting.
I know.
I have an offer from one school, and I'm waiting to hear back from another. So like the school is not 100% confirmed yet, but
the journey is. Yeah, that's so cool. I'm so jealous and excited for you.
Me too.
Speaking of jealous, you just said Octavia Caesar, and I had a moment just like, clearly I am not over being Cleopatra, because it was just, I mean, what? We are coming up on a year of that being ripped away because of COVID.
Yeah, a year tomorrow, basically.
Tomorrow, yeah.
We're shooting this, not to date that.
That's okay. We pre-record. It's all right.
That was our first big shoot for Bard, wasn't it?
It was, because
that was our first
we were set to perform that very day, and they shut it down on March 15th, the Ides of March.
Hours before.
Right.
I actually have a callback audition for my second school on the Ides of March tomorrow.
So we made her prep the Brutus's monologue to Cassius and company.
Perfect.
Which was a really fun monologue from her. Like, that's so out of the norm. It's so cool.
Dude, Brutus is a fun character.
Yeah. And, it's a tough character. I mean, he has a lot going on.
It's impressive.
I mean, he's not my favorite because of what he did to Caesar, but,
Some people need some of their ambitions brought down a little bit. And I think that's all that happened there.
Much like Lady Capulet, Cleopatra doesn't forget.
Fair enough.
All of these inside Bard at the Bar jokes. Sorry, guys.
If it makes you feel better, I am not Octavia. I am Octavius. So I'm Antony's friend, if that We're busy trying to take Brutus down.
Very cool. I love your gender bending, too.
That's one of my favorite things about early modern theater in general, is that because back then all the parts were men, now we can kind of just do whatever we want.
Right.
And I feel like not just gender, it opens up so much diversity in our theaters to be able to say here's this blank slate. I can just pick the actor that I feel like fits.
Yes, or can bring something to this role. Like, you are an amazing Puck.
Oh, I love playing Puck. Puck is such a fun role.
It's funny you say that, because now that I think some of my favorite performances you've done have been like your Richard monologue, your Hamlet monologue, like a lot of these really strong traditional masculine characters, and she just knocks it out of the park in such a way that I wouldn't have ever imagined watching that kind of a performance, but it's so captivating. It's such an interesting new perspective that it's just so fun to watch. And I think that's her graduate certificate capstone project. We're doing gender bending political roles. So right now we're focusing on Richard III and what that would look like from a female presenting lens versus a male presenting lens, or even a non-binary lens. And that's been a lot of fun lately to see various takes on that.
Is that something that will ever be available for the public to view?
I hope so.
I will probably. I'm hoping to have kind of like a culmination, like mini doc of the process once I'm done. That'll obviously be presented to my cohort in Colorado, but I'll probably make it public once that's done. And I'm hoping, honestly, I had kind of an epiphany while we were working on this project of building it into kind of a diversity training program that can be tailored to actors, directors, but also potentially taken into like workplaces, where you have like these little mini arcs of these famous political figures, and then you have, you know, your group of 5 or 10 people, and you cycle everyone out so everyone gets a chance to like step into that role, so that you can see as the actor how you could step into that role, how you, even if you hadn't envisioned yourself that way, and that so everybody around else in the group can see, oh, well, maybe there's more space in this type of a role than I realized that there was.
Well,
So yeah,
I think it adds to the conversation of just in general how we talk about people. Because as you break down a character and actor, you figure out what makes them tick and everything. So to watch me come to a monologue of Richard with like, this is how I feel he is. I give him all of these different ways that I view it, and then to watch her ask a female presenting actor the exact same questions that she asked me, and then all of a sudden those answers are completely different. And then I'm sitting here like, wow, that's a really deep, fun way to look at that. And you start to wonder, okay, what kind of preconceived notions do you come in every day when you're talking to somebody?
Right. We all have biases, and sometimes we're just not aware of them until we hear somebody else have a different bias, and you're like, wow, that's an interesting perspective, and I need to check how I was thinking about that.
And maybe I should check how I'm talking. Exactly, yeah. It's been a lot of fun.
This project sounds amazing, and I hope you'll give me a peek at it if it does not become public.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been so fun and enlightening, and it's gone such a completely different direction from where like I initially envisioned it, and it's been awesome. And
I know this has been important to you long before it was popular to do so. It's something that was on your mind, and you were mindful of it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the beautiful things about theater in general is that it's a space for us to experiment with life experiences that we haven't had. And I think, the more prescriptive we become about what a role should be, the fewer people we reach and the more exclusionary it becomes. And
exactly. And this is something that, we're bringing stories to people. Who doesn't care about these stories? Who does this not apply to in life? It applies to all of us.
Exactly.
It's been fun because we've both been doing a lot of work during the pandemic on ourselves, and I think doing a lot of projects together, especially her capstone project, there's been a lot of more open communication between us and a lot less like dancing around subjects, which has been a lot of fun because we've just been having the practice of just talking during the rehearsals and everything, and now it's like, cool, hey, if we just communicate, things are great.
Weird.
Yeah,
honestly, I don't think your assignment for us would have gone as well if we had done it pre-pandemic.
Agreed. Not that it would have been bad at all.
We've just gotten a lot better at communicating.
Yeah.
And it's essential. It's essential for intimacy. It brings you together. It helps you to stay together internally too. It's not just about physical intimacy. It's about that emotional intimacy. That's what's going to stick with you for years.
Yeah, I feel like in every relationship, if you don't remain cognizant of that, you start to lose it, because this is basically how we were when we first started dating, and then it peters out if you don't pay attention to it. And I think we just kind of got lost in doing our own things with work and everything, and then we're finally back to it. And
this is why I say treat love as a verb.
Yes, I agree.
As an active verb. So tell everyone where they can find you and how they can support you and watch your upcoming projects.
Yeah. So we are both on Instagram, and I'm at the Devon Burke.
I'm at the Johnie Wood on Instagram.
And my website is www.devonburke.com.
And mine is www.johnnywood.com.
And since you both have interesting spellings, would you spell those for the audio version?
The Devon is Devon and Burke is Burke.
I often forget that I have a weird spelling. It is johnnywood.com, JOHNIEWOOD.com, or the Johnie Wood at Instagram.
Very cool. Well, thank you both for being on the show. Did you have something else, Devon? Did you have another?
Oh, I was just, I can't remember what the streaming dates are for Much Ado, but if you check out the LVLT, either their Facebook page or their website, Las Vegas Little Theater, they will have all of that info up. And they've been extending their streaming dates, so there's actually a small chance you might still be able to catch the Shakespeare in Love production and Julius Caesar. But Much Ado should be up sometime in April.
Very cool. So again, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing your photos with us and your vulnerability with us. And I want to thank everyone for watching and listening. Please like, subscribe, and share if you are enjoying the show. And as always, remember to treat love as a verb.